Welcome. 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 Uh, Welcome. I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself and show off my fancy new microphone. If this is your first time here, which statistically it probably is, my name is Eric. I go by Menace on here. I like to talk about magic. I like to play magic. And here recently, I have been enjoying drawing magic. And I've showcased a couple of short videos where I just more or less showcase my doodles, my proxy doodles that I've been drawing for fun. And I've had a couple people ask, just wanting to kind of see the step-by-step process of me drawing a magic proxy. So I thought it'd be fun to film it and showcase it for the internet. And I hope you can kick back and enjoy watching me doodle, and I hope it inspires you to doodle. Because I think in the day and age of gas costing $5 a gallon, that your wallet should not prevent you from cardboard happiness with your friends. I'm very budget positive. Play your proxies. I'm always fighting for alternatives, lower dollar alternatives to more expensive cards. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. The first thing I like to do when I'm going to start drawing my own proxy is to start planning on paper. And when I say plan, I don't mean meticulously. Typically going into these, I usually only know which card I want to draw. I don't typically know the vibes that I'm going for. I am in no way, shape, or form a professional artist. You know, if you ask me to draw a hyper-realistic photo to save the world, you know, there unfortunately would be no more world. But I recommend using reference photos. I use a lot of reference photos when I'm drawing. It helps a lot just to visualize the direction that I want to go with a card. For instance, a few of the cards that I've drawn have been Invader Zim or Adventure Time related, and one of the cards that I drew was Reanimate, and I just used the original comic book cover of, I think it was the original comic book cover. If not, that's my cat in the background. If not, I'm a fake fan, but of where he's bursting out of the ground, and I used my iPad to just draw from that. It took me a couple of tries. Obviously, I go through probably about 2 or 3 scraps of paper just trying to get the proportions right. But yeah, reference photos I think are a huge help. Don't be scared to draw a proxy just because you don't know how to draw. Some of my favorite proxies that I've seen have been just drawn on literal pieces of notebook paper, and the borders are shoddy, and they're drawn using stick figures, but it's done in such a way that has charm and it's unique to you, and there's something special, I think, too, especially if you're playing with true friends, like about throwing down a card that you put time and energy into, and even just getting a good laugh out of the table. I do think this first step of just brainstorming pen or pencil to paper is really important, because eventually you will land on a vibe that feels right to you, something that looks right to you, and even if you feel it would be deemed quote-unquote amateurish, but you love it, that's what this part of the process is for. And just as I plan what I want to draw, I also plan how I want the actual font and lettering of the card to look. A really great website that I recommend is DaFont, DaFont. It has
endless fonts for you to scroll. There's no way that you wouldn't be able to find one that sits right with you. I'm for all the calligraphy fans out there who love letters as much as I do, DaFont is the way to go. Once I find a font that I really like, I will use my tokens or basic land, whatever have you, for size referencing, just so I can start to get used to drawing it on a smaller scale. I will then use my token for card size reference. Don't worry about making the borders nice and clean. You can shape them up later and you'll end up, cutting it down to card size anyway. But this is the border that you can work within. Also, my hands were shaky in this part of the video because I hadn't eaten yet, so make sure you eat. That's also a very important part of the creative process. So I heeded my own warning and I took a break and I ate something to continue onward. When I'm first starting to actually draw the card, I will start with the card title and card information, basically, and what it does, the card type, all that, because it's just, to me, it's just as much of a border to draw around as it is like the card frame itself. It's much easier to lay down the card information and draw around it than it is to draw your picture and then try and fit all of your wording into it after that. I've made that mistake a couple of times. One of my favorite artworks that I drew with Adventure Time, I made that mistake and I loved the artwork so much that I fit it in there, but it could have been better. So start with the card information first and continue on from there. you're struggling to color in really tiny objects, I highly recommend doing what I'm doing here and just getting out your camera and zooming in on the object. It helps tremendously to coordinate within the lines. If you're still here, I hope I inspired you, if not to draw magic proxies, at the very least to flex your creative mind, because everybody has one, and I think the world would be a really beautiful place if a lot more people showed their creative sides. Anyway, it would be really cool if you liked, comment, and subscribed if you enjoyed my video. Have a really cool day.